Don't need dollar bills to have fun tonight. I love cheap thrills. Baby, I don't need dollar bills to have fun tonight. I love cheap thrills. So rockabye, baby, rockabye. I'm gonna rock you, rockabye, baby. Don't you cry, no. Well, Monday weather tight and cold. I wanna be keeping you warm. I got the right temperature to shelter you from the storm.
Hey, what's up? This is Grady with Triple Z Resale. I'm coming at you today with another What Sold on eBay video. I am broadcasting from the fabulous Casino del Sol resort and casino on the outskirts of Tucson, Arizona. My family's been doing this funny thing this week where we're doing like a working staycation. So we actually got comped 2 rooms, 4 nights at this hotel casino. Because we come out here like every couple months on a date night and we like buy dinner and play some slot machines or cards or whatever. And so sometimes they give us free rooms. It's really nice. So it's really fun because basically we work all day. I drop the kids off at school. We get up, we get out of the hotel. And then around 5 o'clock when we're done, we pick up the kids, we come back, we have dinner. We've been having friends out. We've been having family. My mom stayed one night. So this has been a really cheap way to sort of feel like you're having a vacation while still having to work. My wife is grinding away as a school principal. Poor thing. I wish she could have taken a half day off. But, you know, that's life. We're making the best of it and we're having some fun. So I wanted to record a video while I was out here. And I was hoping I could do it sort of flipped around from where we are now, where like the camera would be looking out the window behind me because it's beautiful, like desert and mountains and things like that. But unfortunately, I realized that makes my head just into a silhouette. And then all you see is my shadow. So we're doing it this way. You're going to see the room behind me. And this should be a fun video. This is going to be an all Goodwill Outlet video. Every single thing that I'm going to show you, I bought at the Goodwill Outlet and resold on eBay. So what the Goodwill Outlet is, if you don't know, it's not a normal Goodwill thrift store. It's a sort of a clearinghouse of Goodwill items where they charge you by weight. You pay by weight. So you go in and you dig around in these giant bins. They have these huge blue like troughs basically that are about the size of like, I don't know, like a double bed. And they put a bunch of them together full of clothes, full of hard goods, like home goods, like everything under the sun. Anything you can imagine showing up in a Goodwill, like, you know, like a Goodwill store, you could possibly find there, as well as a bunch of garbage and random stuff. And just, it's the most random place ever. But how it works is that you pay by weight. So for clothing, textiles, pillows, blankets, all that kind of stuff, they charge $1.49 a pound. For hard goods, which is like board games, cards, purses, shoes, all kinds of different things, just whatever stuff like bins, DVDs, plastic, metal, wood items, whatever material that's hard goods, 89 cents a pound. And then they have the third category, which is glassware, which is like your anything made out of glass, any kind of china or pottery, any kind of like home decor, vases, things like that, basically anything that's really fragile. And my Goodwill in Tucson, Arizona is very unique. It's always very, very busy. Every single time I go there, it's busy. It's hard to even get a shopping cart. I would say that about half of the people at my Goodwill in Tucson are coming up from Mexico, meaning they live in Mexico. They drive up to Tucson, they go to the Goodwill Outlet, they go to thrift stores, they go to estate sales, they go to yard sales, they do all the same circuits that I do, except that where their marketplace is their marketplace is back in Mexico. So a lot of these families come up, and the kids come up, mom and dad come up, tia, abuela, everybody, the whole family, right? Everybody comes up, they do all the shopping, they fill up this truck like all the way to the top. They have these cages sometimes where like they fill up these like truck beds like all the way up to like 10, 12 feet tall, and then they drive it all back to Mexico and they resell it there. So I think it's really interesting, like all the different ways that people scavenge. And so when I go to the Goodwill Outlet, in large part, I'm competing with people who are looking to resell items back in Mexico. And so the nice thing about that, besides the fact that I get to practice my Spanish and everyone's very nice generally, is that they tend to be looking for different types of items than I am. Like I'm looking for unique, quirky, vintage things that like would be hard for Americans to find, things that are unusual that Americans would want to buy. And the people reselling in Mexico, they tend to be looking for new American stuff, like contemporary, like like the kind of stuff that you would find right now at department stores, in fashion stores and things like that. So in that sense, we're well complemented because I'm looking for very different things than they are. Sometimes I can just go through the pile of stuff they're putting back and find things that I want to buy. So I think I've rambled on enough. Let's check out some items that sold on eBay from the Goodwill Outlet. We're going to start in my clothing store, Fashion Meets Function, and then I will show you some items from my other store that were not clothing. First up is this black rivet faux leather jacket. It's really excellent condition. This thing looks brand new, and I believe I took a best offer of $15 plus shipping on this. It was very fashionable, looked really great on the mannequin form, and I'm not surprised that it sold. So this was incredibly lightweight. This probably weighed half a pound. So I would say that at the Goodwill Outlet, this cost me 75 cents. All right, this is a vintage pair of Guess jeans from the 1990s, maybe early 2000s. It does have the classic Guess like triangle logo on it. Let's see if you can see the triangle. There's the leather tag. So these were a little bit vintage, and they sold for $18.95 plus shipping. These weigh about a pound, so I paid $1.50 for these. All right, here's an unusual item. This is a lined Carhartt for women vest. I don't know if you know. If you don't know Carhartt, Carhartt is always really well made. This brand lasts forever. I have a Carhartt jacket I've had for a long, long time. It's really tough. So it's made out of really high quality canvas. It's got pockets. It's got a zipper pocket on the chest. It's lined and very warm and comfortable. And this sold for $22.95 plus shipping. And this weighed, let's see, this weighed probably about 2 pounds. So I probably paid about $3 for this. All right, this is a vintage 1990 Jinko brand sweater. Do you remember Jinko? They're like a skateboarding brand. When I was in high school, I used to wear Jinko shorts and pants, and they were like super baggy. They were one of the first brands to really embrace that baggy skater look, and I was grateful at the time. So this sold for $16.95. It was kind of heavy. It weighed about 2 pounds. So I probably paid $2 or $3 for this. All right, this is a genuine vintage item that I picked up at the Goodwill. It's extremely light because of its polyester material, so it weighed, I think, weighed less than a pound. So I paid about $1.50 for this. It's got this really trippy pattern on it. It's a really sort of psychedelic shirt, and it's got these classic 70s colors like the harvest gold color and the sort of avocado green color. So that was a good one, and it sold pretty quick. All right, this was a pair of Dockers that I pulled out of the bins with new with tags. So I was able to sell them as new with tags that had all of the, you can see there, all the store tags on it. They were a little wrinkled up and stuff, but I got them pretty clean. And just a regular pair of slacks, like nothing exceptional about this. You can buy these at, thousands of stores all over the place. But this person chose to buy them on eBay for me. Thank you, buyer. These probably cost me $1.50. They sold for $19.95, plus the buyer paid for shipping. All right, this is a pair of Quartz Nature convertible pants. They were made in Canada. That's part of what caught my attention. Whenever something's made in an unusual place like Canada, I always look up the brand to see what it is. So basically convertible pants, meaning that they unzip into shorts. They were super baggy. They were like size 3X, a 42 waist. So these were for a big guy. They got returned once, and then the second time they sold, and that sale stuck. And they sold for $19.51 with free shipping, and they probably cost me $1.50 to buy. All right, this was a vintage John Deere jacket with a hoodie it was one of those ones where the hood like unzips from the collar. It's got the puffy collar with the hood in it. And this probably weighed about 3 pounds. So I might have paid $4 or $4.50 for this item. And it sold for $16.96 plus the buyer paid for shipping. All right, this is a pair of Hudson bootcut women's jeans. So keep an eye out for this brand. It's got, as far as I can tell, I've sold this a couple times, and it's always got this triangle-shaped pocket flap on the back, plus the logo has this sort of like British flag design where it says Hudson, and these jeans are generally worth about $30. So if you're out there scavenging and you can buy them for a couple bucks, it's a great deal. So I would have paid about $1.50 for these, and they sold for $33.96 with free shipping. All right, I think that's going to do it for the clothing. Let's hop over to my other store and check out some things from the Goodwill that were not clothing items. All right, now we're going to check out some items that are not clothing that sold in my other store, Triple Z Treasures, and everything here is also from the Goodwill Outlet. This is a die-cast muscle car of a 1969 Pontiac GTO, and it was in very good condition. Had all the parts very clean, everything worked good. I pulled this out of the bins, so this would have cost me 89 cents a pound. This weighed about a pound, so I bought this for 89 cents, sold it in one day for $16.95 with free shipping. This is an old vintage 1980s LL Bean main guide duffel bag. This bag was heavily used. It definitely shows its wear. And it was in kind of bad condition. I described it as being, like heavily used, and I listed it really low at $9.95 plus shipping. This sold in one day. And even though this is a big duffel, it weighs very, very little. So this weighed, probably half a pound. So I probably paid about 50 cents for this and sold it in a day for 10 bucks. So that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. This is a Head Tour Team tennis racket bag that is like a double bag. It has two pockets for two different rackets. This thing was a little beat up. It definitely showed some wear. It had some scuff marks and things like that. Nonetheless, I was able to sell it within 2 months for $14.95. This probably weighed 2 pounds, and at 89 cents a pound, I would have paid $1.80 for this. All right, up next is this Ectalon racquetball bag, multi-compartment zipper. So here's what I messed up on with this, is that this is not a racquetball bag. This is actually a badminton bag for the racket game badminton. And it doesn't seem like it mattered that I described it incorrectly because this bag managed to sell twice. The first time it sold was to an international buyer who did not pay for it right away, and like usual, every time that happens, every time an international buyer buys one of my buy it now items but doesn't pay, I'm pretty much guaranteed that they're never ever going to pay for it. So I had to do an unopened item case, then I had to cancel it, had to relist it. So that took a few days. But it sold again within 2 weeks of listing it for $23.96 plus the buyer paid for shipping, priority mail shipping. And this weighed probably 2 pounds, so I paid about $1.80 for it. This was a really great find at the Goodwill. I was digging around in the hard goods bins, and I started to find pairs of suspenders. And normally I wouldn't sell suspenders. Like, I'm not going to sell one pair of suspenders for like $6 or $8 unless it was a really, high-end pair. And these are not high-end pairs of suspenders. Most of these did not have brands on them. But what I started to notice as I was digging around in the bins is that there was a lot of them. So I started to pull them out. I actually was wearing them around my neck. So I looked pretty goofy by the end when I had 14 pairs of suspenders hanging around my neck. But I managed to find 14 pairs in total. It weighed 4 pounds. So I think they charged me the clothing price for this. So if it was 4 pounds, then it would have been $6 that I paid for this. And I put the suspenders up for auction as like a wholesale, and I think I started the bidding at $19.95 on this one. And you can see it got 19 bids. and sold for $64. I had no idea that this would be quite so desirable. I was hoping to get one bid and sell them for $20, and then I would have made like $14, $15 profit. I had people messaging me specifically about these ones with the leather straps. You see those with the leather like button straps? So I had people messaging me like wanting to know if I would just sell those ones by themselves or how many of those pairs there were, things like that. So I think that's part of what added value was those ones. But overall, this was a really great find. And once again, the Goodwill Outlet paid off exceptionally well in this case. So this was a good sale. That's going to conclude my tour of items from the Goodwill Outlet. I have a lot of fun thrifting there, even though it's a contact sport for sure, and I have to wear gloves and all of that. It's still a lot of fun, and thank you for checking out the things I sold. You can look for my stores in the links below. Leave a comment, hit the like button, and thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video.